Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
I'm Matt Miller.
And I'm Hannah Elliott, and this is Hot Pursuit. Matt, am I seeing shorts?
You saw me wearing shorts? I don't want anyone to see that.
This is the first time. I mean, it was just a glimpse. But I feel like I caught a flash of some short pantaloons.
It's super inappropriate for work, obviously. I'm even wearing flip-flops, which I would never
Oh, no.
do.
Please, no. I don't need to see that. That's going too far. That's an HR violation.
By the way, do you know that I don't wear shorts much in public because I have a huge skin graft on my leg?
Is that from your motorcycle accident?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
When I got hit, I got hit by a truck, basically, that crossed over the double yellow line. And it hit me not head on, but almost just to the side. And so my left leg was crushed between the truck, and which ironically was a Dodge, and my motorcycle. And that caused so much swelling that they had to open up my leg in a few places in what's called a fasciotomy. And I had to leave it like open and swollen for a month in the hospital before they closed it. And when they did close it, they didn't have enough skin. So they had to take a big patch of skin basically from my upper thigh and close it on. So now I have basically what it looks like, a split top loaf of bread on my calf.
Whoa.
And I'm thinking about getting it tattooed into a shark.
I was just going to say, it sounds like a fertile ground for some ink.
It would be perfect, but I think it would hurt a lot.
It definitely, I feel like that would definitely hurt. It would definitely hurt. Wow, that seems extensive. I had no idea. No wonder you're always in pants at the office. I knew that was suspicious.
Oh, yes.
So you're in Italy. You've been there for a minute, sounds like.
I'm in Italy. It's obviously it's amazing. We're in the countryside outside of Siena and Tuscany. But I rented, I'm not sure if I rented the right car for the whole situation. I desperately wanted to get a big van, and I was talking to a lady at Hertz, and I was like, for me, a van screams like family vacation. And when my parents took us for the first time to Europe, they rented a big white, like Mercedes Sprinter, or I don't know what it was, Ford Transit. It could have been. And it was like almost like a school bus van. It wasn't fancy, and we had a great time in it. So I wanted to do the same thing, but the Hertz lady talked me out of it.
Into what?
Well, so since she talked me out of it, I looked at Sixt because there wasn't anything else.
Yes, I've used Sixt.
Yeah, and they have like really nice cars.
Yeah.
So I saw that they had an Audi A6 Avant that was fully electric. And I thought, let me try this because it has massive amount of range, 420 miles of range.
Okay.
And I love, a wagon, and the A6, looks like you're doing well if you're driving an A6. And
this is what we want.
Exactly. And so, but I went to pick it up and they said, here's your BMW i5 E40. And I was like, that's not the same thing because it's the E40. So it wasn't even if it was the 50 or the 60 maybe, but it had far less range. And,
So
there's
this
not
was
a lot of places.
Bit of a bait and switch.
Exactly.
Like.
So then they said, how about an iX? Because the Audi A6 isn't fully charged.
Sure.
So I have enjoyed the iX in the past. It just doesn't have the same kind of rugged vacation feeling.
It doesn't have the gravitas. I remember.
No.
Yeah.
It to me, the iX, it seems like it was a concept car that they were like, all right, let's just release it.
Might as well. Yeah. We're already at this far down the road. I think I remember the same thing, and I know I reviewed it. It was like, it was good, but it's just like something's missing.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, the doors are so light, and I get that the whole thing is a carbon fiber monocoque shell, and so it's technologically advanced, and that's great for an electric car. You want it light. But when you close it, it feels like a toy, or it feels like they weren't finished. you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Well, how has the range been for you while you're driving around Italy?
The range has been really good. It started at 531 kilometers, and uh, we got here about 300 kilometers away, and I was only 330 down. So
Oh,
now it
that's
says
good.
200. Obviously, I drive like a bat out of hell, but
I would hope nothing less. Where are you
yes.
charging it? That's the
Well,
big
that's the
question.
problem. So now we've gotten to this remote villa in Tuscany,
Which is the
and
point of going to Tuscany. You want a remote villa.
exactly, and there's no place to charge it here. So when we go into town, we're going to go into town tonight to watch this mini paleo, so little horse race, or the beginning of the ceremonies for it. And I'm going to hope to find an electric charger while we're in town that I can use to charge the car, but also in Europe, the electric charger parking spots are kind of a cheat code. Since nobody
Uh-huh.
else has an electric car, nobody can park there. So that's the only
Perfect.
place that's open to
Yes.
park.
Sounds good. That
Yeah.
is a good cheat code, actually. You get better
Yes.
parking that way. We should really talk about I feel like there's so much going on in Goodwood is happening this weekend. Obviously, you and I are not at Goodwood, but there's a lot of car stuff happening.
That's a huge bummer that we're not there, that neither one of us is there.
I know.
Why aren't you there?
Um honestly, and I was just in the UK this entire week. I've just returned from being in England. Um, but decided not to stay over, honestly, because I didn't need to. Look, Goodwood is great. I think everyone should go at least once. I've been a couple times. It's kind of the same every year. Um, it's not my favorite event. There's no real huge news. It's really good for networking and it's great for car fans and it's fun. Um, Also, the logistics are really challenging and complicated. It's tough to find places to stay and park. Speaking of parking, so I don't know. I just decided not to go. I didn't want to be gone that long.
But you
Um,
were in England. Were you
yeah.
driving a Defender, an old Defender?
Um, Sadly, that was not my car.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I wished I was driving a Defender. No, I was driving in a Honda Jazz, visiting all the stately
I
homes.
saw that too. I saw the
Being
Honda steering wheel. The
Yes,
Jazz is the tiny one, right?
being ferried around by an 81-year-old woman for days. It was, and it was great. And she's a great driver, I have to say, too. That was my mother-in-law.
By the
So
way,
it's,
so what do you think about that little car? And we should talk at some point, not now because I haven't done any research, about tiny little cars because we
yeah,
both love the Fiat 500
yes,
and the Honda Jazz is, I feel like, maybe even smaller.
I think it's comparable. It's pretty
Yeah.
small. Honestly, by the end of the week, and I'm around 6 feet um in my heels. I was in pain. That the back seat of that car, the seats are about as thick as cardboard, and
Yeah.
they don't necessarily recline. They're not especially supportive in your lumbar region.
Yeah.
So it was by the end of yeah, it felt really small. But all that to say, I really like small cars, and they really make sense on those tiny roads in Yorkshire, which are about 1.5 lanes wide,
True.
and you really kind of hold your breath when you pass people, if you pass people. And I really found that the Brits kind of just drive in the middle of the road up there because the
Yeah.
road's so small anyway. They don't drive on the right or the left. They just drive in the middle. It's pretty
And if you're
funny.
an 81-year-old woman, it's a great car. Like,
Yes, for her. She loves it. It's perfect for her. Harry, her boyfriend, who is 92 or 93, he has a Kia station wagon that he still drives. And in fact, he met us at the pub one night and drove himself home. And actually, we're all kind of holding our breath, evaluating him as he pulls out from the parking lot. I think he's solid. I actually think he's doing a good job.
after like a 3 or 4 pints, was
No,
it?
no, he had a half a pint. He had and this is on the record. He had a half a pint of some IPA, and so he was he was within his legal limits, and 90. He's either 92 or 93. A prince of a guy. and he was killing it. And speaking of estate, no, what estate car? I think they call them
Yes.
estates. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was doing great.
Well, that's fantastic. I hope I'm
I
still
know,
driving when I'm 93 years
honestly.
old.
Yeah, there was some, I'm sure we may get letters about this. I'd actually love to know what our readers think about how you navigate when your parents get to be in their 80s and still want to drive. And
So I have the problem that my dad's only 76, but
okay, tell
he's
me.
declined in some senses of capability. It,
Mental or physical, like reaction times?
no, not physical. He has decided that stop signs don't apply to him, you know, and
Uh-huh.
um, he literally just breezes through them. So, and
And
it's
this is new
honestly,
behavior for him.
it's new behavior, and it's like a moral and legal problem for my family because we've taken the keys away. We've literally hidden cars, taken
No
his car
way.
and parked it at other people's houses.
Oh, no
And
way.
he frankly shouldn't be driving anymore. But there's nothing you can do, especially if the um, subject
If,
is a lawyer,
oh gosh.
who's still ready to wage a suit to stop someone from driving, except for
Wow.
have a doctor demand a test. And if said lawyer passes that test, because on that day for those
Sure.
minutes he's paying great attention, um, you can't tell a grown man or woman he or she is not allowed to drive, and that is a problem if you think, because we're intimately associated with him, we know he shouldn't be driving, but
Hmm.
he refuses to acknowledge that. And I think you should have to retest, um,
Yes.
every few years or whatever after you're 70.
And not just a written test, a physical driving test is what you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah, we talked about it, and I think England may have some sort of mandatory testing, but you're right. Sometimes people you can pass the test on a given day and still not be really at in peak driving performance form. But you're right, it comes down to like personal freedom. You can't tell someone who doesn't want to give up their keys, you got
Yeah.
to give up the key. It's a freedom thing. I get
Yeah.
it. And then, of course, the other side is if they're not driving themselves, who's going to drive them around? It
Right. Well,
might fall to you.
thankfully, even in Granville, Ohio, where I'm from, there's a plethora of Uber
Oh, that's good.
services.
Yeah.
So, as I think in my dad's case, at least, he's growing more and more aware of his capabilities and incapabilities, and has decided, for the most part, to use the local. It's not Uber, but the town uh,
Hmm.
taxi guy.
Oh, that's
And,
good.
um, but I'm sure a lot of people face real problems with that.
I really think it's a thing. It's interesting to think about, it's tough. You want to talk about
I want to talk about Rimac first.
yeah, I was just gonna say that. Speed record.
So I don't know anything about these cars, and the only time I ever see anything about Rimac is when I'm either reading stories that you've written, or looking at Rob Report,
Hmm.
or or it's usually some F1 driver who's bought himself one, and I feel like it's only retired F1 drivers that are Mate
Right,
Rimac clients. Is that
right.
wrong?
No, I don't think that's wrong. In fact, I think some of their first clients were F1 drivers. I mean, first of all, like who can afford it? And second of all, I feel like if you can afford it, and Mate Rimac has said this, a lot of people really aren't looking for electric hypercars right now. I mean, the Rimac Nevera, just to get everyone on the same page, um, when I drove it a couple of years ago, it was $2.1 million. I think I drove it in 2022. 2.1 million was the starting price then. That car had about 1900 horsepower. They have said they're going to make 150 of them. Last year, Mate told us they had sold 50 out of 150. So it's a really high performance supercar, all electric. And of course, Rimac Group is partially owned by Porsche and Hyundai and a couple other investors, and then also in turn owns Bugatti. So it's all connected. And to answer your question again, Matt, and we talk about this all the time, internal combustion seems to be more alluring for people who are spending a lot of money on cars than electric cars right now. All that to say, the Navara R, which is the higher performance version of the Navara and has over 2,000 horsepower, it's a little bit more expensive. They're going to make 40 of them if they can sell 40. That car is the car that just became the world's fastest production EV. Now, we have to say production because there's another car outside of Japan that was a prototype that is slightly faster for top speeds, called the Aspark Owl. But,
so first of all, is the Navara the only car Rimac makes? Is that the only model they have?
I believe it's currently the only car they make. They have said they're going to start making 2-seat autonomous robo-taxis.
Okay, of course they are.
Yes, they're working on things. And of course, Rimac also supplies components, parts, battery technology to Pininfarina. So it supplies things to other automakers. And of course, Rimac owns Bugatti, and we know what Bugatti makes. But in terms of the Rimac brand, the Navara is the current only thing that they make. But again, Mate, as we know, is kind of a petrol head. He had a record-setting BMW that he built. He actually does love combustion as well. And whenever we talk with him, and we did try to get him for this podcast, but it was a little too last minute, but he does want to come on. He always says, whatever makes the most sense in terms of powertrain is fine by him. He's not married to electric vehicles necessarily. And one thing I really like about him is he's pretty open about, I guess no one wanted the Navara. I mean,
he's the CEO of Bugatti, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's happy to make 12 and 16 cylinder motors.
Sure.
The one person I do actually know who has a couple is Brian Miller, which isn't fair because he owns Miller Motor Cars and they're for sale.
He has a couple Bugattis.
Yeah, that's the only place. That's the only time I've ever seen them in the flesh is when I'm with him looking at his inventory.
He should let you drive one of those.
I didn't think about asking.
What?
But you've driven one, right?
Yes. It's incredible. So, it's on a whole other level for sure. Incredible.
That's because the interesting thing is, like, most electric cars are, obviously any Tesla owner that you talk to will tell you, I smoke people off the line all the time. And even, this morning I drove out to the local co-op to get some milk in this iX, and that is it's literally a family hauler, and it flies. So any electric car will fly, but this must be a different kind of flight.
I think there are certain levels. Let's put it into perspective. The Tesla Model S Plaid has a top speed of 200 miles an hour. So the Rimac Navara, the R, just set a record for a top speed of 268 miles an hour with a 0 to 60 time of under 2 seconds. The 0 to 60 on the Rimac Navara is 1.66 seconds. So again, I think it's a whole other level. Yeah, the Tesla feels pretty fast, but that's like a minivan compared to what Navara is doing.
So basically, in electric cars, 0 to 60, for the most part, when you get to those big power numbers, is only limited by your traction.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah,
and
totally.
It's so the next frontier for electric cars is top speed.
Yes.
Which is where Rimac is pushing. And that's pretty awesome.
It's pretty awesome. And you know what the interesting thing, though, is combustion engine cars are still faster for a top speed number. Even though,
way faster, right?
Yeah, like the Bugatti, the record-setting Bugatti has a top speed of over 300 miles an hour, which is leaps and bounds. Obviously, whenever you talk to the people who drive these cars for world records, they say it's exponentially. Every single mile per hour that you add is feels exponentially faster the faster you go. And this Bugatti Chiron Super Sport 300 Plus hit 304 miles an hour in 2019. So, that's a lot more speed. And I know Koenigsegg and SSC also have cars that are still faster than the Nevera, and those are combustion engine cars. So you're right. I think for EVs, top speed is really the next frontier.
We should actually have Andy Wallace on the.
Oh my goodness, we
while
should.
While we're listing people that we should be talking to, Mate Rimac obviously is one.
Yes.
And fascinating because of I'd love to know more about the structure of ownership of his business and how it fits into Porsche and Volkswagen. But Andy Wallace is the one who drove that Bugatti top speed, and you know him as well, right?
Yes, he's a great interview. We should definitely have him on. He's one of these guys that has done something extraordinary, who is really humble, and you could talk to him and never know what he's gone through.
I mean, to me, when I watch these top speed attempts, it just seems so dangerous.
I know.
And I guess with the Bugatti, they do it on a track that it's like a road track that just is a giant oval, right? But other times people do it at the Salt Flats, which I've never been to and I would love to visit.
Yeah, I have also never been. And
we should definitely go to the Bonneville Salt Flats, Hannah. That should be a group trip.
Yeah, let's do it. Like, let's actually make a point of it. I know people are killed trying to set speed records like this. There was a woman who was killed in Southern Oregon trying to set a four-wheel land speed record, who was killed years ago. And yeah, it's super dangerous because the cars can get airborne, for one.
Yeah.
I think any type of steering correction at that speed is like fatal.
Yeah.
Right.
But also, if you're going to go, and we all, as Joni Ernst reminded us, we're all going to die. That's a good way to go, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I can't.
You think?
Not for me. Not for me.
If you're going over 300 miles an hour, you surely aren't going to notice it. It's like
no. Yeah,
over.
It's complete. You know who we should have come on to talk about this is our friend from Goodyear, because it all comes down to tires too, doesn't it? Like, the tires are the limiting factor as well.
Yeah,
traction
tires. Mark Stewart, also on the list of people that we need to interview. And frankly, it could get too political, but Brian Miller also is a good one.
I don't know him, but I'd love to know him. What do you mean when you say he could get too political?
He has opinions, and he is not afraid to share.
We love opinions.
It's great. It's great.
I mean, what are his opinions?
And let's wait till he's on, but
he can say it. He can say his opinions.
He's had an incredibly successful career selling cars to the wealthiest people in Manhattan.
Oh yeah. That gives me a hint about what his opinions might be.
But the cool thing is he's older. He's older than me, at least. So, but he has fantastic taste in music. So he can talk to you not only about, the newest Bugatti and who's buying it, but also about, the Derek Trucks Band or the Allman Brothers. And he goes to all these shows. So.
See, I love that. And you know what? I like people who have different opinions than me, because it makes me want to ask, tell me more.
Me too.
Why do you think that? And I'm going to get on my soapbox for just a second. I have to say, I think the proper response when someone has a different opinion to you is not to get angry, but to ask why and say, tell me more.
Well, most of us live in an echo chamber, right?
I know.
Someone asked me this morning what news sources I listen to. And after I listed them, I thought, that doesn't sound good, because I'm not listening to any other opinions, right? If I'm just listening to Bloomberg and the BBC and NPR, I'm kind of doing myself a disservice by not broadening my horizons a little bit.
Yeah, this is something I've actually been talking to my own parents about. Let's have a big variety in our media diet. Variety is important. It's
And I
just like
imagine you
healthy
could just
eating.
swap with your parents, right?
Swap?
Are you on the same diet as your parents,
Oh,
or
no,
would
no.
you, would
Oh,
the two of
no.
you benefit from swapping out a few? You
I
give them
I I
NPR
think
for a week, and they give you Fox News.
I'm gonna say that I have a very healthy media diet, and I will say that I'm confident I do. I read conservative opinions, I read liberal opinions, I listen to a bunch of podcasts. I will say this, I don't watch TV. I do not, and which is ironic because I
Yeah,
work for a news organization that is a TV studio, but I don't,
I also don't watch TV.
yeah, I think
Um,
that's important. I read print, I read newspapers, I read magazines. I don't do the TV.
I guess I read the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, and the FT. In
That's
addition to
nice.
Bloomberg,
Of course.
that's pretty diverse, right?
Yeah. What about
But
your
mostly
local paper?
I
Do
listen
you
to
get
radio.
a
My local
local?
paper, I also read because my wife writes for it a lot.
Oh, nice.
Whenever she feels like, we shouldn't be spending $8 million to put turf on the high school
Yeah.
football field because it involves PFAS or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I don't know what that is, but I know it's bad, so we're
Probably
against
a
it.
forever chemical. Not good for the
Exactly.
children.
Exactly.
I'm with her. I'm with her. We need more
Um,
nature in this world, less
yes.
plastic.
Um, so yeah, I guess I read the local paper in that sense. Mostly I read, automotive media also, which
Oh,
tends to
speaking
not
of
be very
automotive,
political.
should we talk about Christian Horner leaving Red Bull? Or
Yeah,
have you really?
that's
I mean,
what do you think? What do you think about it? Because I'm not as immersed in the world of F1. I know he got in
mhm.
trouble for like texting some
Yes,
coworkers. He denies that he
inappropriate relationship.
denies that he
You
did
know,
it. He's married to like
Ginger
Sporty
Spice.
Spice, Ginger Spice. Yeah,
Yeah, and he's been there for gosh, 20 years, got the job when he was 31,
he's the
which is
longest standing team
crazy.
principal. Yeah.
Yes, crazy. Obviously there are a lot of politics involved. Max Verstappen and his dad have had, difficult relationships with Christian Horner, which has been well documented. Um, and I do think it's interesting that he was not asked to leave during the time of his indiscretions and his unethical behavior at Red Bull because they were winning. But,
Yes.
now they're not winning. And this car that they will never admit, but it was probably really tailored and manufactured to really benefit Max Verstappen, is still not doing well. Um, they've gone through multiple secondary team drivers, and no one has been able to really score any points with the car except for Max. And even Max can't get it to be great. And everyone seems to think that Max is leaving soon anyway. So it seems like really his departure weirdly is unrelated to the indiscretions and is truly related to he's not winning anymore. Um,
So
but
is
the
that good? Is that good or bad? Because like, do you care if your boss, if you're an F1 team, isn't the only thing you want to do win?
Yes, I don't know. That's a good question. You know what the crazy thing is? He's not leaving the organization. They're removing him from his post, but he at this point, at the time of this recording, he's not actually leaving Red Bull. He's staying on. And we don't know what role he's going to maintain at Red Bull, which to me could set up a weird dynamic on the team. Um, like if someone's been the leader and then they're removed from the leadership position, but they're still around, that seems like an odd dynamic.
Surely he'll go
Um,
somewhere else. Surely they're just giving him time to find another job.
yeah, yeah. Uh,
Maybe they
gosh, I
don't
don't
want him
know.
to leave because it's too much intelligence walking out the door.
Could be that.
Too much
Could be.
proprietary,
I'm sure he
like
has a non-compete in his
exactly.
contract.
So
Yeah.
we're taking you out of your leadership position, but we're not letting you go from the company, so you can't go anywhere else, kind of thing.
Yeah, that sounds right. Um, I don't know. I think motorsport right now is peaking. Oh, did you see F1? Have we talked the movie?
I saw the movie. Yeah, it was okay. It was good, I guess.
You don't want to discuss more? You're not
No,
raving
I mean,
about it?
I don't know a great way to describe how I feel about the movie because I suppose I enjoyed my 3 hours in the theater. I ate a lot of popcorn and I got to see Brad Pitt, and a lot of F1 people, driving cars. But I don't know. It's just like a summer blockbuster movie. I also didn't like the new Top Gun movie, Maverick.
Never saw that one.
But if I think about the F1 movie in terms of the actual story or the acting, how I felt about the characters, none of that was a home run.
There's
It
not really a
wasn't
story there.
it wasn't Moneyball. I mean,
Mm,
when Brad Pitt is in Moneyball and I have no connection to baseball, whereas I love to watch motorsports, I thought it was an amazing movie, like
mm,
insanely good.
that's a great
Um,
point. A
and
great point.
I've watched Moneyball like 3 or 4 times, and I don't really
Mm,
need to see F1 again because when I was sitting there, I was thinking I'd much rather be watching a race. And I think most
uh,
F1 fans would much rather watch a race than the movie.
yeah.
I didn't think the driving scenes were that good. Like
Interesting.
I didn't feel the drama that I feel when I'm watching a close race.
Yeah. Oh,
Did
that's
you?
interesting. You know what? I would say I was relieved when I saw it because we talked about this a little bit in past episodes, but um, I, I liked it. I liked it. I had very low expectations because I really didn't like Ford versus Ferrari, so I was just kind of bracing myself to not like F1, and I liked it. I I came away excited about motorsport and thinking, oh, my friends who don't think they're interested in cars will like this movie. And that's exciting. And just yesterday I was talking with one of our editors, Justin Ocean, and he had seen it and he loved it. And he was all excited about now he wants to go to a real race. And he's never been to a race. He's not a particularly big F1 fan, but he knew that Silverstone had just happened in the UK. And I think I get the feeling that it may turn some people into, oh, maybe I should check out the actual sport. Um,
Yeah, maybe I'm too
but
critical because that's
no, I
good.
don't think you are because I think because you're a real fan and you have been. I don't think anything that you said, I don't disagree with any of it. You know, I mean,
I
Magnus,
just
he doesn't even want to see it. I've said I'll go back and watch it with you because I was at a press screening. He wasn't there, and he doesn't even care to see it.
I just
So,
think like it didn't move me in any way. The love interest wasn't compelling.
no, that was just so lukewarm.
I didn't care if the kid won or not, even though it's so nice that he lives with his mom. Um, you know, it's it's obviously completely unbelievable that a 60-year-old
Oh,
man
I
goes out
know.
there and wins an F1 race,
Yeah,
gets close.
yeah.
Um, and even think like if you're clearly causing accidents to get a
Oh,
safety car out there, that's something that
that would never happen.
the stewards would notice and say that's not
Of
okay.
course. Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I don't know. Was it cool to see Brad Pitt wearing like nice clothes? I guess. I want to buy a couple of the shirts that he was in,
Okay, so that's good. So the branding worked.
but
The sponsorship. Okay,
yeah,
that's
no,
good.
I'm far more excited to watch an F1 race, and I'm excited to watch a MotoGP race, obviously, anytime. But I can't think of many movies that I like better than that anyway. So,
Yeah, I get it. In terms of Brad Pitt, it just made me think, oh, I need to go rewatch Fight Club. This was not
oh,
Brad's finest
yes,
work. I will say that.
yes. It's hard to pick his finest work because he's done so many amazing
This
things. I
is true.
mean, Legends
The
of the
river runs through
Fall,
it.
River Runs Through It, and Legends of the Fall are two of my
Great.
favorites. But I love
Classic.
Fight Club. I love Moneyball. I love him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Oh, and that's the
Mm.
other thing. You mentioned it before, and I don't think it's so startling, but the work that he's had done to his face, even if it's minor filler that somehow, like around his eyes, just makes him look like a less special person and more of a regular dude. And
Okay,
I don't like it at all.
I'm glad to hear you say that. So you do agree he's had work done. I'm not just
Either,
imagining.
either he's had work done since Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or he just
There's fillers in there.
Yeah, it does. Like, there's no
You're
wrinkles
right.
around his eyes, so it's
You're right.
just a strange
Yes.
kind of plastic surgery or whatever you call that look. And I'm kind of bummed that he made that choice.
Me too.
Men are lucky enough to age with.
Men are allowed to age.
Yeah.
Women are not allowed to age. And like
Speaking of Top Gun Maverick, by the way, the fact that Kelly McGillis, they didn't even shout out Charlie in that movie. For me, it was really a bummer. Like, no, where's Charlie? Oh, Charlie died in a plane crash. Or
it's just something.
Or Charlie got too old and Mav doesn't like her anymore. You know, something like that would be.
Sure. Just be honest about it. We can handle it. We're big girls. Come on. Huh.
Right.
Well, I agree. It just kind of bummed me out because of all people, Brad Pitt is allowed to age because his face is special or was, but you're right. There's something there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
Listen, I got to go to this little paleo.
Well, it's so great to talk with you. Thanks for taking time out of your vacation.
Thank you so much. I guess I'll probably be here next week still.
Yeah.
But in fact, I know I will, unless something goes horribly wrong.
Well, let's hope. Gosh, we don't want you stranded in Italy.
Have you got anything cool coming up before we go to Pebble?
You know what? Yes, always. Next week, I'm actually coming to Portugal to drive the Temerario, the Lamborghini Temerario, which is the Huracan successor.
I'm so jealous.
So that's fun. And then I will be in New York, and we can do it live together.
That's
in
awesome.
New York. And I will see you in New York the week after that. So
the Lamborghini drive should be amazing.
Yeah.
And you bring up Justin Ocean. He also edited probably the greatest work trip I've ever been on for Lamborghini when I went to the F1 circuit at Barcelona to drive the Aventador SJ.
Amazing. Justin's a good editor. He's a hard editor. But
he's
great.
I think I was a bad writer to work for him. I think he was like, I never want to edit this kid again.
Oh, I'm sure it was fine. He's never said a bad word about you. But
all right, cool.
He's great.
Well, then I will talk to you again, same time, same place next week.
Cannot wait.
I'm Matt Miller.
And I'm Hannah Elliott. And this is Bloomberg.